Small business war stories. Small businesses are the soul of America. And this is where they tell their stories. I am your host, Pablo Fuentes. Hey, lovers of small businesses and good stories in general. Welcome to episode 90 of Small Business War Stories. It's crazy to think we've done 90 episodes, but here we are, almost 2 years later. And today I sat down with Amelia Raley, and she is a really, really interesting, awesome entrepreneur in Austin, Texas, who is doing a vegan ice cream with Sweet Ritual. And we talk about how she got her start and how initially it was kind of part of inside of a toy store, and how it's evolved and how they've developed this, not only a following for their shop, but actually kind of a community of like-minded people and other businesses as well that provide, this kind of vegan ice cream and vegan products that is really attracting a lot of attention in a very good way. And they also, obviously you don't have to be vegan to enjoy the ice cream. It's made with coconut milk and all kinds of goodness. So it's really, really good stuff. This episode is brought to you by Proven. Proven is a small business hiring tool. It's a company I started. It's proven.com. And if you need to hire for your small business, go ahead and check it out, proven.com. It'll save you a lot of time and money. And we also have a blog and resource for you. It's free. It's blog.proven.com. And that is where this this podcast lives as well. And if you have any ideas, let us know. You can shoot us an email at podcast@proven.com. Without further ado, let's get into today's episode, number 90, with Amelia Raley of Sweet Ritual in Austin, Texas. And we are live here in beautiful Austin, Texas. And today I'm sitting down here with Amelia Raley, and you are one of the founders of Sweet Ritual.
That's correct.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to be here. And we were introduced by a mutual friend of ours, who is Allison, who is also a past guest of the podcast with Coco Coquette. And she said, I had to talk to you because of all the cool things you're doing with vegan ice cream.
Yes.
Let's talk about that. What inspired you to start that? Like, why vegan ice cream?
So I moved to Austin 10 years ago and got a job in a toy store and started making vegan ice cream inside the toy store. I got the job within 48 hours of moving here.
Okay.
And the ice cream that they were carrying, the company went out of business. Okay. And it was soft serve.
Okay.
And I called the company up, and I just got a kind of a disconnected phone line. And so the soft serve machine sat empty for about 2 weeks, and people came in begging for this ice cream. And it wasn't that good to begin with. And I thought, I can make something better than this. I was in Girl Scouts. You take some fat, you take some sugar. I had all this vegan background cooking because I had gone to my master's program in Oregon, and all my formative cooking years were really honed in living in vegan co-ops.
Okay, where did you live in Oregon?
In Eugene.
Okay, cool. I lived in Bend for a few years,
nice.
So I'm familiar with that. Cool.
And I put some coconut and some soy in the soft serve machine and kind of closed my eyes and pushed the button, and it turned out really, really good. Okay. And built up this big client base from it, and got to be really creative with the flavors. And I saw how people really loved ice cream, but they would suffer through it with lactose intolerance, and to have a dairy-free alternative was really important to people.
So let's talk about that. So what's the difference? So for somebody who knows very little about ice cream manufacturing or any processes, so most ice cream that people think about obviously has cream, which is dairy, which is milk. And then what is the base you use? You say you use coconut and soy as the basis for vegan ice cream?
Yeah, currently we use a lot of different bases.
Okay.
We use peanut butter, almond butter, cashew butter. Basically anything that is a fat you can make an ice cream out of.
Interesting.
So we have an avocado-based ice cream, a sunflower seed-based ice cream, and a tahini-based ice cream.
Wow, tahini, that's sesame paste, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
That one's really, really good.
Okay.
We mix that with pomegranate.
Very cool. So, but that's not how you started. You started just
started.
using, you said coconut?
Coconut and soy together.
Okay, cool. And did you have a background in vegan cooking before this? So this was like a natural thing? I mean, how did this all come together? What was it? Why make it vegan as opposed to just making ice cream?
Oh, the cafe that I was working inside of was a vegan cafe.
Okay. Got it.
And I was also vegan,
Okay.
eating vegan, and then living in a vegan co-op. Here
Okay,
in Austin.
so you're fully vegan, and so this is something that's very natural and
Yeah.
authentic to you within your life.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but that doesn't mean that in order to enjoy your ice cream, you have to be vegan, right? There's a lot of people.
The vast majority of our customers are not vegan. A lot of them are either have allergies or are with a friend who has allergies or intolerance, like lactose intolerance.
Got it. And is there a certain like education process that has to go with that? Like, hey, vegan ice cream, like this is cool. Like you don't have to be vegan. Is it like, it's like what is the response that you got from customers when you first came out with this vegan ice cream?
You know, when we were first talking about starting the business,
Mm-hmm.
we went to SCORE, where you get business advice.
Okay.
And at that time, it was full of a lot of older men who had been really successful and now were retired, and they had been in the medical field or whatever. And they said, vegan ice cream. You can't call it vegan, sweetheart. No one will come and buy it.
Yeah. Okay.
But I had been in Portland. I had been in Eugene. I had kind of seen what was going on in the West Coast, and I knew that Austin was going to be ready for something like that. And we called it vegan ice cream from the very start, and it really was not a problem.
Okay.
People were really into it, as it's kind of become like a cuisine, like let's go out for Japanese food, let's go out for Chinese, let's go out for vegan. It's now its own kind of category.
Sure. Yeah. No, I mean, there's some delicious vegan food out there. And I'm sure that this is. I think Austin probably has a lot to do with that too, right?
Yeah.
Because you probably wouldn't be as successful in Amarillo or somewhere else like that.
People want me to come there all the time.
Really? Is
Yeah.
that right? Okay. Well, I just picked Amarillo. I don't know why I picked Amarillo.
Well,
I was just thinking
people
of,
ask for it in all the corners of the earth. Come to Connecticut. Come to Indiana. All
Very
these different
cool.
places.
So when I look through your website and like your branding and everything, there's a lot of you're selling a feeling more than you're selling a food. What does that mean to you, and what does ice cream mean to you, and what is the feeling that you're conveying with what you're doing?
So we believe that going out for ice cream is way more than just going out for a treat. Going out for a dessert is truly a ritual, and that's where the name Sweet Ritual comes from. I had been in small business for a long time, and I'd seen people come in to celebrate an A on a report card, or losing or winning the baseball game, or after their chemotherapy appointments. They come in as a little reassurance and a little treat for themselves.
Yeah.
And everyone deserves that and can go through that ritual. If you can't or won't eat dairy, there's a lot of CPG packaged vegan ice cream on the shelves. But eating a pint of ice cream in the grocery store parking lot after a baseball game doesn't really have quite the same feel as going to an ice cream shop, feeling included.
Sure.
And celebrating.
Got it. So it's like what I'm hearing between the lines is this, like, you're talking about baseball games, or like maybe like going to the doctor. So it's like an everything's going to be all right sort of feeling that you get.
People either come in to make a great day better or a bad day great.
There you go. I like that. You should put that on your T-shirts.
Well, I went to school to be a middle school teacher.
Okay.
And I just didn't like going to school every day. And I got this job part-time in a toy store, and everyone came in and they were just so happy and nice. And I thought, I really deserve to have a job where everyone is super nice every day.
Yeah.
And you get to make their day even better.
Okay. Very cool. Now, we are sitting here in a brand new, awesome, how long have you been in this facility? A month?
1 week.
Okay, 1 week.
Yeah.
Wow, this is like really brand new. I feel very fortunate. And help me put some timelines together here. So how long ago was it that you opened your first that you poured your first cup of ice cream at this toy store?
So that was March of 2008.
Okay.
So 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And then we opened our first Sweet Ritual shop in December of 2011. We did that because the toy store was actually moving and they weren't going to have a cafe concept in their toy store downtown.
Sure.
I already had a client base built up, and I approached my business partner, Valerie, and she had cut her teeth working at Amy's, which is Austin's homegrown success story of an ice cream shop. So she had the front of house, I had the back of house experience. And she was like, I would love to own an ice cream shop with you. That sounds really fun.
Yeah.
So we opened up inside of what was then a Daily Juice, just in a little counter inside of that.
Okay.
And we outgrew that after a couple of years, and we opened our first brick and mortar in June of 2016.
Okay. So it took about 8 years from the first time until you had your own standalone location. Mm-hmm. Okay.
We started the whole business with like $20,000.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
We really bootstrapped it.
Yeah. So you're a decade in now, and how many employees do you have?
Right now we have 12.
12. That's awesome. And you are, help me understand now. So you have this, we are not here at your retail location. We are here at your, what would you call it, a manufacturing plant?
Yeah, our production facility.
And so what is the flow, no pun intended, of ice cream from here to your shop? Like, how does the whole process work?
So we produce the ice cream here. We make it all from scratch. So we grind the nut butters. We combine it with the whatever sweeteners and then whatever ingredients and flavors in there. We freeze it, and then we put it in the deep freeze. And then once it's deep frozen, then we distribute it to our store.
Okay. So you have deep freezing trucks or something like that?
Right now we have my Honda Fit.
Okay.
But we're in the process of buying a
So it's 100 degrees outside. Not today, but it's been 100 degrees up until about 2 weeks ago. How do you keep
we have a transportation bag that's similar to a sleeping bag. So it's a big square bag that zips open, and you just put everything from the negative 20-degree freezer into the car. And
pray.
It's not that. And I also do the deliveries at opportune times of day, so like 8 a.m. or 9 a.m.
Okay.
We're in the process of buying a frozen delivery vehicle, but it's about $40,000.
Wow. Okay. So. Interesting. So then how do you control like what kind of flavors, how much what is the planning process like of what you're actually delivering to the shop?
Sure. So we have 16 slots for flavors. So we have 12 standard, and that's anything that you would go into a regular ice cream shop and expect those flavors. So chocolate, mint chip. We have a fun one called unicorn poop, and that's the one with Skittles.
Okay, cool.
And then we have a few slots that rotate. So we have a sugar-free slot, and then different seasonal ones. So if it's a fall flavor, maybe it'll have pumpkin. If it's a summer flavor, maybe it'll have a s'mores flavor. A Christmas flavor would be peppermint.
Okay, very cool. And where's your location now?
Our scoop shop is on 46th and Airport.
46th and Airport, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And
for those of you not in Austin, it's Airport Boulevard, which used to be the airport 20 years ago.
No longer the airport, right?
It's super confusing for new people where they're like, got it, so you've got an ice cream shop at the airport.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's now all residential stuff, right? Mueller and all that. So what is your plan here? So what do you have your scoop shop, and before you moved into this facility, you were actually producing at the scoop shop itself? You had everything under one roof?
Yes. So we moved into the scoop shop in June of 2016.
Yeah.
We did a Kickstarter to move in there, and then we had a very, very small private investment loan to get in there. So we spent all this time and money building out the scoop shop. And with our sales projections that we had while we were inside the juice bar, we were projected to grow out of that facility in 5 years. So we were doing retail, wholesale, production, storage, offices, all in 1,000 square feet.
Okay.
So we outgrew that facility in about 5 weeks.
Wow.
Our sales were up 70% that year, and we just grew so quickly.
Congratulations.
It was very...
Yeah, it's like, you can take a breath. It's okay.
It was very... that kind of growth is really phenomenal, but it does not feel... You don't feel successful while it's happening. You just feel like you're putting out fires one after the other. Yeah. On our busiest day, it would get so crowded in the ice cream shop, and then the machines would overheat, and then the power would go out. So on our busiest day, we would lose power 3 or 4 times.
Wow, it's ironic that your ice cream shop overheats because it's so successful. Cool. That's actually ironic, unlike everything in Alanis Morissette's song that's not ironic. Okay, cool. So that is what prompted you. Your success was basically almost, getting to be too much to handle.
Right.
So, which is what prompted you. Tell me about that process. So, a lot of businesses, as they grow, they're trying to figure out, what's next. So, you had your shop at the toy store, and then you open up. Did you have a location in between there? I didn't quite catch that. Or did you go straight to the scoop shop that you have now from the toy store?
We had a little counter in the juice bar.
In the juice bar, that's right. And then you have the scoop shop. Now you have your production facility here and your scoop shop.
Yeah, and the scoop shop is actually being remodeled, so it's completely demolished. And in the meantime, I'm actually back at the toy store that I started at.
Oh, wow! Full circle.
Yeah,
Okay.
because we're friends with the owners, and they actually moved 3 doors down from us in our scoop shop on Airport.
Okay.
So we have a little pop-up shop inside of them so that we don't have to completely shut down for a couple of months.
Okay, so that's a big deal. So you're in the middle of this is a hectic time for you. You just opened a big manufacturing or a production facility, and you're remodeling your actual scoop shop.
And we did that all within the same week. And that's not how we planned it. We planned all of this.
Wow.
We planned this
I can't believe you said yes to this podcast. What is this? Thank you. So tell me, how do you handle all this? Because I'm feeling it. This is a lot.
Part of it is just coming to work and saying, what kind of curveballs am I going to hit today?
Yeah.
What can I anticipate? And it's been almost 7 years that we've been running the scoop shop, and I'm not burnt out of it. Everything is really, it's a fun challenge. I work with a lot of really positive people. Things malfunction, things break, things don't open on time, but ultimately it's been nice.
Okay. And do you go there every day?
To the scoop shop?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you spend some time here and you spend some time there.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
I don't like this is the first time I've ever had an office in my life.
Yeah.
My office in the last 7 years has been me sitting on a box of coconut milk, sending emails on my laptop.
Okay.
So this has been...
This is an upgrade looking around
definitely. The first 2 days that we were here, I just laid on the floor for a little bit. It's like, nobody's going to step over me. I have all this room.
Yeah. Wow.
But the staff loves it too. We have the huge kitchen now, and so they can really move and be more creative, and we're not as constrained.
Okay. Now, everything you do is soft serve, right? Or do you also have...
Almost everything we do is hard pack.
Pack, okay.
Yeah, we do have some soft serve.
Maybe I misinterpreted. Originally, you said you were soft serve, right? Okay.
Yeah.
The first iteration. So everything you do is hard pack.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you also sell out of the shop for people to take home, or is it like mostly for people to consume there?
Yes, we sell a lot of pints
Okay.
and ice cream cakes.
Okay. And do you also distribute with third parties, or can you only buy this at your shop?
Right now, we have it at a couple of the smaller grocery stores around and some of the smaller restaurants.
Okay.
And then Toy Joy downtown has a sister shop that's a candy store next to them, and they carry 12 flavors of our ice cream. So they're kind of like a mini Sweet Ritual down there.
Okay. Wow, you got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of different things. Okay. And is your plan and your idea then to now have this production facility here feed not just the scoop shop but other locations? Like, what are you thinking here? Because it feels like, sort of just reading between the lines, like you're putting together this hub and spoke system of sorts.
Yeah, so our ultimate plan is to open more scoop shops. That's what we really love to do. And there's some really great CPG vegan ice cream out there in the grocery stores. That's not really the area that we want to be. We want to be the physical space that people come to. And I think we will continue to do pints in smaller grocery stores, more as like a marketing thing, but that's not the sexy part of the business.
Okay. What you want is really more of these experiences that you
Yes.
want people to come in and do this. Okay.
Yeah, and we really want it to be a local Austin thing, that you come to Austin specifically for that experience.
Okay.
And want to be kind of an Austin institution. Like, you'd come and you'd go to Uncommon Objects and Franklin Barbecue and Sweet Ritual. And that's actually what a lot of people do.
Wow, that's really cool. So that's like, hey, it's funny you say Franklin Barbecue. I was just there last week, and that is kind of the diametric opposite of vegan ice cream.
Right.
You know? But it's definitely an iconic institution here in Austin. Okay, cool. And so you want to stay for the time being here in Austin. You don't want to start opening stuff elsewhere yet.
We'll get this first scoop shop reopened and see
where
how
it goes.
We can handle
but I don't
it.
know. You're being so successful that I'm just like, let's do this. What else we got?
Yeah, well, we're starting to look at. I mean, the day after we moved into this location, I was at a meeting for location number 2.
Yeah.
And my business partner says, "We haven't even given birth to these babies yet, and you already want to get pregnant again."
Wow. All right, that's very.
But you know what? It takes about 18 months from when you start looking to when you open the door.
Yeah.
So if we want something in 2020. We have to start now.
Tell me about that process. So what is that process of finding a location? I've never opened a physical store of any sort. So what is it like what do you think about? What's the process?
So for us, it was really important to have a place that had a lot of parking, that was very, very easy for a mom with 3 kids to be able to pull into the parking lot and get them out without a lot of rigmarole. We wanted something that was more or less visible on the street, and something that could be safe in more of a safe neighborhood, because ice cream is a really late night treat.
Right.
So we looked through a lot of different commercial properties around town. We actually always kind of look during the rainy season, and so you'd see these properties that you could tell had flooded.
Oh.
And so that was actually kind of a perfect time to be looking for stuff, because then you could anticipate whether
there's going to be any problems.
Yeah, so then you sign like a 70 to 100 page lease, look over it with your lawyers a bunch. We've been reaching out to other business owners to kind of just say, are we doing this right? And one business owner that we work with, he sent back our lease just absolutely marked up. And I didn't know that you could refute things in a lease before.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've only ever just signed residential ones. And he said,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, you can ask for this and take this out. And
Yeah.
so once that's settled, I mean, when we signed the lease on this place, it was full of dog food. They had donated this space for Hurricane Harvey for Austin Pets Alive. So we signed the lease on this with a lot of it sight unseen, because it was so full of dog food and dog cages and dog bowls.
Wow.
It was kind of crazy.
Wow, that must have been quite interesting to clean up.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're thinking, let's go back to your process of finding these spots. So you can tell whether or not they're going to have flooding issues. But how do you strategically think about where? You said you wanted to be in areas where it would be relatively safe to be at night. But what else do you think about in terms of the traffic? How do you project out, especially in a city that's changing as fast as Austin, like where things are going, where things are coming from?
Right. Well, we kind of followed the leader a little bit. We are 3 doors down from the Almond Tree, which is Austin's original breakfast place. That's where Kirby Lane came out of and Magnolia came out of.
Okay.
And after they moved from their space up on Burnett, they came over to Airport and opened up over there. And then the Soup Peddler opened up over there, and New Bohemia, when they moved from South Congress, when their rent got too expensive, they moved up there. And so it was kind of like a follow the leader of, these are businesses that are serving relatively the same type of people.
Mm-hmm.
And then we, Almond Tree is breakfast, and we're more late night. And then also the Grand is over there too. So it's a lot of kind of local businesses all doing business over there.
Okay. But then as you think about the next one, just put me in your head, in your brain, as you're trying to think, okay, like the next few locations, what are the things you look for, and how do you determine what's a good location for your business?
So right now, I belong to a lot of the vegan communities online on Facebook and stuff like that.
Okay.
And just ask people where they're coming from. And people are driving 30 to 40 minutes to get dinner or to get breakfast.
Right.
Because they want to eat this vegan lifestyle, or they have allergies or some kind of dietary restrictions.
Okay.
So a lot of people are asking for it in Pflugerville, in Round Rock area. And then a lot of people in Cedar Park or in San Marcos.
Okay, so that would be like the general pool. Let's just use Round Rock as an example. So you're going to go to Round Rock. You find that there are a lot of folks there who are interested in this kind of product. What's next? Where do you start? Do you map out Round Rock and figure out where the traffic spots are? How do you think about it?
Yeah, I guess I would figure out what the most allergy-friendly restaurant in Round Rock might be.
Okay.
In this case, it might be like a Chipotle, because that's something that you can go in and make your own substitutions in
so
there.
the next step is figuring out where other spots are where your customers may currently be going. Okay. and you identify those. Let's say there's 3 or 4 of them. Then what's next?
Then try and see if there's something that's reasonable square footage. We looked up at a place in Pflugerville, and the rent per square foot was almost as much as rent on South Congress.
That sounds high.
Yeah, really, really high. And so just kind of seeing, what's a good deal and what's not. I don't know. We're about to take those steps, so I don't.
Okay.
I can't speak from a place of expertise, but
Sure.
I guess that's how I more or less would go about it.
Got it. And then so there's got to be some analytics that go into it, like you said, you're trying to go somewhere where your customers already are. But there's also like a gut feel, right? You probably come up to a spot and you're like, yeah, or right? How do you? I mean, it's hard to explain that, I guess, but
well. I feel like in places like Pflugerville and Round Rock, that's where a lot of Austin families are moving.
Okay.
Families eat ice cream.
Yeah.
So you really have to just find a place that's more or less family friendly. Maybe not next to a liquor store, but maybe near like a Chili's or something like that, where a lot of families are gathered.
Okay.
You can
Very
tell
cool.
I don't know that much about Pflugerville and
No,
Round Rock.
I'm trying. I've been there a few times, but I'm not an expert by any stretch of imagination. Okay. So how do you currently find, is most of your customer base finding you through word of mouth? Do you do any advertising at all? Do you do any social media engagement? How do you find your customers?
The majority of our customers come through us through Instagram.
Okay.
The first year we were in business, all of 2012, we didn't have a sign. You had to just know that we were inside this gas station of a juice bar.
Wow.
And a lot of that came from social media engagement. That's when Instagram was really kind of finding its footing. We had a lot of engagement on Facebook. Right now we have 18.4 thousand followers. So it's to the point now where I post something on Instagram and 20 minutes later people come into the shop and just hold their phones up and say, give this to me.
Really?
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. But that wasn't always the case. So did you do any advertising early on or not?
We've done a couple of things of paid advertisement. There used to be that Austin Daily billboard over I-35. It's not there anymore, but it would always advertise. You can pay $650 a day, and someone will go up there and move around letters and advertise your message. And a lot of it was there's a lot of medical trials in Austin, so it would ask about, do you have psoriasis, then get in a trial. So for National Ice Cream Day, I bought the billboard and I put lactose intolerant ? Vegan ice cream shop and then our address, and people pulled off the highway to come and eat ice cream.
That's awesome.
They thought it was really funny.
Yeah. Have you done anything like that since, or is that like a one-time
We
thing?
rented that a couple of times, and then they stopped doing that billboard. Other than that, we spend money on mostly artists. We sponsored a mural at the Hope Outdoor Graffiti Gallery for National Ice Cream Day one year. And then this year, Peelander Yellow from Peelander Z painted us a big ice cream selfie wall.
Okay.
To have for National Ice Cream Day.
That's awesome.
So
Cool.
I try to do more like fun word of mouth things rather than paying for space because...
Yeah, that makes sense. So because that's something that people will take their photo in front of something and then share it, and that brings more people. Very cool.
Yeah, and with our customer base, we have a lot of regulars. Oh, we use 5 stars too, which is the point. It's like a point of sale thing, so you accumulate points.
Oh, it's a loyalty program. Okay.
That's been. I think we're one of the busier, more successful shops with that, but we have a lot of people.
So it's what, like buy 10 get 1 free kind of thing?
Okay. For every dollar you spend, it accumulates into, or it translates into a point there, so you can save up your points for an ice cream cake or a shirt or a patch.
Okay.
Or a topping. So, a lot of people they love it. It's like a little game to them.
Awesome.
And I think that's it.
Okay. Cool. Can you think of a time when things went really wrong for your business, and what did you do about it? I mean, you've been in business for a decade now, so I have to imagine that it's happened at least once.
So 2 years ago, I poached a friend from a bar that was changing concepts, and he really wanted to get out of the bar scene. And I said, come work for me. Really happy people. You don't have to kick drunk people out at the end of the night.
Sure.
He had worked for Disney in the 80s, and he just had that Disney customer service of just really treating everyone like a guest, was so great with the employees, just really incredible. And he became our GM, and he was GM for about 2 years. And this May, he was hit by a drunk driver. And he survived, but he's not able to come back to work. But he was such a big part of the culture of our shop that it's been, we were just blindsided by something like that happening.
Yeah.
And just really trying to grieve over that. Also, maybe hold space for him because we didn't know how bad his injuries were going to be. But, we continue to check up on him and see how his progress is. But it's really just... It's just really sad. That was really hard.
I bet.
Especially when we had all of these other projects in the works. Because we had someone who was like the ultimate captain of our ship while we were going to build all this infrastructure in the back end. Yeah. And then when that position, was no longer, we had to stop what we were doing in some of our projects and step back in.
And that was 2 years ago?
No, this was just this past May.
Just past May. Mm-hmm. Okay. How's he doing now?
He's okay. He has a pretty bad concussion, and so some of the after effects from that are really affecting him. But he's in physical therapy, and I think he's just a workaholic. He loves being at the shop, so it's just been really hard, I think, on him to not be able to come to his little community here.
Okay. He probably still comes around though, and you see him.
I've seen him a couple of times. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, that's really tough. I mean, I knew specifically, one comes to mind, one business where one of the co-founders passed in a car, got run over.
Right.
And it can really throw things for a loop.
Yeah, we've really started to talk to more seasoned business owners and advisors, and this year was one of the year of doing very unsexy things like taking out life insurance policies on me and my business partner and stuff like that, because those things can really affect your business. If one person dies or becomes disabled, then the business could just fold.
Key person insurance.
Yeah.
That's a real thing, actually, and a lot of people don't think about it for their business.
Mm-hmm.
So what was that process like? So you said there's a lot of things in running a successful business that are these boring, unsexy things, right? And you just have to do them.
Yeah, and we've learned to kind of throw money at the things we're not good at. So we've always had an accountant from the very beginning.
Yeah.
Always tried to really throw a lot of money at budgeting and doing the back end and making sure that we've always been profitable, because if the business doesn't make money, then we can't do all the fun things with the money.
Yep, absolutely. Actually, Allison from Coco Coquette told me an issue that she ran into because she wasn't using a bookkeeper, and there were some issues. So sometimes it's really valuable to understand what things can you pay somebody else to do so you can focus on the things that really matter to you and your business, right? And that you're good at.
I thought I knew so much about running a business when I opened this business. And I learn stuff all the time. Yeah. And in my spare time, I just read business books.
Okay.
On Audible, and
that's great.
Yeah, it's really great. Well, especially when you have so many people that have an opinion on how you should run your own business. Yeah. I'll talk to my partner's in tech, and so I'll talk to his tech friends, and they're like, "Oh, well, you're just going to go nationwide," and because it's easy with a tech object, you just get the seed money, and then it's digital, so it can go nationwide. Well, there's a lot of logistics of moving a frozen product around a hot, busy city like Austin, let alone putting it nationwide.
Or statewide, Absolutely.
So being able to really hone in on what we wanted to do as a business and say, we want to be small. We want to be a giant in Austin.
Okay.
We don't want to be from coast to coast.
Okay, cool. And
that was really hard to get that voice and not listen to what everyone's opinion was.
Choose who you want to be. I think it was Kurt Vonnegut that said that you are who you pretend to be, so be really careful about who you pretend to be. So that's really cool. What's the craziest thing that's ever happened at one of your shops? I'm sure that you've seen some crazy things.
I think the craziest thing that I ever saw was I made a banana split for a man who he had full sleeve tattoos of almost like a Guy Fieri flames. Okay. Probably in his late 40s, and he came in with a Hawaiian shirt. Yeah. And I made him a banana split, and he cried because he hadn't had dairy ice cream in 20 years, and it was just so moving to him. And I just thought, wow, this isn't just a vanity project. This is something that's really meaningful to a lot of people. Yeah. And so to me, that was probably the craziest thing.
That's powerful. I like it.
Just kind of a strange and interesting and fantastic thing is watching pregnant women come in and then watching their babies grow up. And now we have, I have 10-year-olds now that I've serving ice cream, and, I knew their mother when she was pregnant with them.
Wow.
It's really, really surreal.
That's cool. That's cool. I mean, that's the kind of feeling that makes you feel like you're really a part of the community, and probably helps you double down on this feeling of like, I want to be, like you said, a giant in Austin as opposed to like a small player nationwide, right?
Right.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I didn't really think about that until we were about 5 years in business, and thought, wow, we've really been a lot. There's people that come and celebrate their anniversary with us every year, or bring their kid, every Friday after school. So we really are a big part of people's lives.
That's amazing. Now, in all these years, we have a lot of folks in our audience who are either thinking about starting a company or they're starting a company, they're working. What would you say is number one piece of advice that you would offer up for people who are thinking about it or who are in the trenches right now?
The most powerful thing that you can do for yourself and for your business is to find other business owners and network with them.
Okay.
Find a business that you like, find out who the owner is, invite them out for coffee.
Yeah.
Coffee is easy. Buy equipment from them. Ask for recommendations for their bookkeeper or their lawyer or something like that. Collaborate with them on projects. And you will see all of that come back to you in spades.
Yeah.
Every ice cream shop that opens, Valerie and I go usually like a week after opening day and go introduce ourselves to the owners and say, we're Valerie and Amelia, we'd like to be friends with you.
Yeah.
And that's come back to us in really great ways.
That may be counterintuitive. Let's talk about that for 1 second, because a lot of people it is an alternative way to look at things, to say like, hey, this person's opening another ice cream shop in town. Right. They're my competitor. So help me understand where you're coming from with that. And I agree with you, but help me understand how do you see that those relationship building moments.
Yeah. So we now are the vegan ice cream capital of the world.
Okay.
We were last year, but now I think in the last 18 months through the end of this year, 4 all vegan ice cream shops will have opened that are not my shop.
Wow.
Which is kind of crazy, but the demand is there. It is a trend. Dairy-free is the hottest thing in the frozen sector. But there's a lot of people that do very different ice cream in Austin. There's Liquid Nitrogen, there's Farm to Cone, there's Amy's, there's all soft serve. Mm-hmm. And also, it's just a big city, and people like to go out for ice cream. And so I feel like it would be like a fried chicken restaurant or a pizza place going after, like, we can be the only pizza place in town. Well, that's not the way the world works. There's lots of pizza places in town. It just depends on really kind of what neighborhood you live in and what kind of service you can provide to those people.
Okay. So you want to be friends with these people because you want to be a part of those communities. And
sure.
Whatever, I guess, lost your business from there being competition pales in comparison to the relationships you can build with people who are doing something similar to you.
Yeah, and we do some networking with them, but really the more deeper networking we do is with businesses that we can collaborate on. So like a bakery will use their items for inside the ice cream, or we do a lot of things with even just going to like bakery conferences with other people. We don't do any bakery stuff, but it's just interesting to know what's going on in the sector. Very
cool. Okay. Where can people find you? So if anybody's interested, that's kind of changing right now, right? So when are you reopening your scoop shop?
Mid-November of 2018.
2018. Okay, very cool. So you're going to have a grand opening party and a big thing. Okay, very cool.
That's what they're promising us, but in my experience, it could be February. So we've already got the permits and everything. So
very cool. And what is your the address for that is?
4631 Airport Boulevard, Suite 125.
Very cool. And your Instagram address is?
Sweet Ritual.
Sweet Ritual. Okay. Are there any other places? Do you have a website that people can find you as well?
Yeah, sweetritual.com.
Sweetritual.com.
And we also teach a vegan ice cream course.
Oh, okay.
So for plucky budding entrepreneurs that really want to open their own vegan ice cream shop, we've helped 6 businesses open in the United States.
Do you have to want to open a business, or can you just do it for your own edification?
You can, but the course is several $1,000s. So it kind of just...
You really have to want to make your own vegan ice cream.
We've had people take the course because
Yeah.
They want to retire eventually and then open a vegan ice cream shop. So it's really kind of all walks of life. So we teach a lot for people in the United States, but we've had people from the Philippines, from Australia, from Ireland come and learn with us. So we teach the course over 5 days, and it's all hands-on in the factory. And then we also teach them how to work in the scoop shop, and then they get information on managing employees and finances and all of that kind of stuff.
Okay.
It's kind of a little crash course in, do you want to do this or not?
Very cool. Well, congratulations on all your success.
Thank you so much.
And good luck with all the openings and the expansions and everything. And it was been a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you for listening to Small Business War Stories. If you enjoy the show, share it with a friend, or you can subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher, or on our blog at blog.proven.com. If you have an idea for us, we'd love to hear it. Please email us at podcast@proven.com. See you next time. Small Business War Stories. Small businesses are the soul of America. And this is where they tell their stories. I am your host, Pablo Fuentes.